This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
If your fashion wish list lives rent-free in your brain, you need to be on Poshmark. With Poshmark, you're shopping millions of listings from thousands of closets, each curated by someone with their own style. Vintage finds, designer pieces, and everyday staples all in one place. Search for your favorites or let the discovery come to you. Poshmark makes it easy to find what you actually want to wear at prices that feel like a quiet win. Download the Poshmark app today and use code PODCAST10 when you sign up to get $10 off your first purchase.
All big changes start with a swift kick in the ass.
Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curren. With me today, I have Mitch Webb. He is a nervous system healing specialist, focusing on trauma recovery, emotional resilience, and he takes a practical approach to why so many people get stuck in this survival mode. And I'd like to talk about really how do we get kicked out of that cycle, out of that survivor mode? How do we get to that? So Mitch, welcome to the show.
John, my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Glad you're here. This is a very important subject, I think. And, this show is really about transformation and building a resilient life on your terms. And I think that has different meanings, for different people. Everyone has their own life. But one thing I see time and time again, and really it's like, where do you start? You recognize things are a mess, you need to change. And I think it all, for me, it begins with a feeling. I mean, because if things aren't bad and you're not feeling like you don't have to change, you're not going to. And there's a disconnect between your mind and your body. And I think for me, that was really the first step in overcoming whatever I was overcoming at the time, which was, honestly, it felt like my world was collapsing around me. Coming in from all angles, and had to retreat inside to kind of shelter myself and prepare myself, really build myself back up so I could take on the world again. You cover so many topics. I know you're an expert on things, plus you're a guy just like me. And masculinity is a topic these days too, I'd like to kind of talk about, because what's it mean to be a man today? I think that's kind of changing, but I'm going all over the place. I'm not giving you any time to talk. I apologize. So where do we start? You had a car accident or some trauma at an early age, and that led you
man.
here?
I'd say, yeah, absolutely, man. I got a pretty wild backstory, I would say. And I tried everything to try to get better, and found that the nervous system work was really the chef's kiss, if you will, the thread that kind of connected everything else. Like you were saying, to kind of kick us off, I think observation, like awareness, is so much this work. And going back to my story, I mean, dude, when I was 20 years old, I was traveling in Europe, and I fell out of a second-story window partying, had a traumatic brain injury. Not long after that, started having panic attacks and insomnia. Broke out an autoimmune disease, so like skin stuff all over my body. And eventually, I got sent home with like medication, benzos, and immune suppressants to take care of the anxiety and the skin stuff, and just kind of went about my way. And that's just putting a Band-Aid on it. But I moved into a house that had black mold. I developed Lyme disease. Went to the doctor, found out I had heavy metals and diabetes, and went on a quest, I guess you could say, a journey to heal that stuff. And once I did, I fell in love with health and wellness. I was going to see one of my first clients and got hit by a dump truck. And
oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You were going to see one of your first clients and you got hit by a dump truck.
Yeah,
that's like my name is Earl. It's like
yeah, dude, I'm not even done. And I mean, the universe trying to wake me up. It took throwing quite a bit of a bit at me, and I had post-concussion syndrome for a year. When I recovered from that, I went to the gym. I got COVID. I got long-haul COVID 3 years in a row. Went from the best shape of my life to I couldn't exercise more than 15 minutes a day, or walk more. Not even I couldn't exercise. I couldn't eat food. I was only eating meat and salt. I went down to 140 pounds. And what I learned later is that my nervous system was just in complete collapse. Overwhelmed, just very low capacity. Mm-hmm. And it's just the body doesn't feel safe. It's trying to protect us, saying, hey, we got to slow this guy down. And when I started doing this nervous system work, man, I started, all my food sensitivities went away eventually. Accidentally exercised, after about 2 or 3 months of the work. I posted about that today. I was hanging out with a buddy. We were splitting wood. I used to set a timer so I didn't do too much and forgot to do that, and look back and it was an hour had gone by and we were having fun. And kind of like lifting weights, this nervous system work is progressively increasing the capacity to be with what's uncomfortable, to be with life. Nervous system regulation is not about being calm. It's about being able to handle what life throws at us, and to not shut down or go into our compulsive ways of fixing ourselves or responding to that. And yeah, man, this work saved my life. And that's why I'm out here having conversations, because I know it can help so many other people that are dealing with chronic symptoms like anxiety and, all the things I've dealt with, gut issues, mystery illness, food sensitivities, and, insomnia, panic attacks. Those are all just symptoms of a sensitized nervous system or a dysregulated nervous system, and healing is 100% possible for the person out there listening.
So what was your swift kick in the ass that got you like moving in that positive direction? I mean, God, it sounds like you had quite a journey, including getting hit by a dump truck. Holy crap.
I don't think that was my swift kick in the ass. I don't think I was really paying attention, what was my swift kick? Such a good question.
I mean, what turned you on to the
I got one for you. Healing? I got one for you. Yeah. So here it is. We started a local men's group here in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where I'm at. Okay. Called Men on a Journey. And two of my buddies approached me. They're like, hey, we want you to be a part of this group. And at the time, I was reading the book, The Body Keeps the Score. I was checking out trauma. I thought trauma was, you had to go to military and get blown up or something like that. And, we were in our first meeting, and I remember thinking that they wanted me to come in because they thought I would help. And I remember thinking, I'm going to help these poor bastards with mental illness, because I thought it was nutritional deficiencies at the time. I thought they were going to diet and exercise their way out of trauma. And little did I know that the first meeting I went to, we just went around the room. We say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, where you at? And the way I answered some questions, one of the guys pulled me aside afterwards and said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Yeah. And he said, you're reading that book, The Body Keeps the Score. I said, yeah. He goes, that's you, man. He goes, what you're dealing with is trauma. And, told me a little bit about some of the things he's been through. And he's like, why don't you go see a therapist? And the first therapist that he sent me to sucked. But then I rearranged my whole career around it, because I found some people that could help me. I found a mentor. I got into some practitioner training, and I saw results that felt like magic when I had been trying to force myself to heal by controlling things to feel safe, whether that was diet and exercise, protocols, pills, supplements, detox. I tried everything. I exhausted myself. There's not anything in the health industry that I haven't tried. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to fix myself. And the crazy thing is, when the nervous system gets sensitized, the way we get stuck in this cycle of chronic symptoms is trying to fix it and figure it out. And that's who I was. I was Mr. Fix It. And that just told my nervous system there's a threat that we can't get rid of. There's a tiger standing at the door. And the nervous system, the symptoms are just trying to get your attention. But society tells us they're bad. Take a pill, make it go away. And so we're looking out here on the outside for answers, and all the answers are inside. When we have trauma, we don't know how to listen.
Yeah, no, that is so very true. Wow. Yeah. So you first have to become aware. I don't know. How did that connection, the mind-body connection, was that like a flip of a switch?
Hell no, dude.
Or was it a slow process?
It's slow. I mean, thank God it's slow. We call that, like, in this work, it's titration. It's doing a little bit at a time. You don't want to get thrown in the deep end of the pool. It'll blow you out of your socks, and I did that. I used some advanced tools to try to fix myself. I did the same thing with this work to try to fix myself with trauma work, with nervous system regulation.
Okay.
And I had to learn about that. We can compulsively try to fix ourselves there too. And so when we have trauma, we disconnect from ourselves. We tend to go up into our head, and we'll say we think our way to safety. If I can think through everything and figure it all out and plan for everything and control it, then maybe I'll feel safe. And it does feel like safe if that's all we know. But it tells the nervous system there's a problem. And then we get on high alert trying to solve the problem and fix it. And so, guys, we love to fix things,
Absolutely.
That's kind of an identity thing for men. And so that works against us in this work. And that's what you see. Solutions for men in this work are like mushrooms, in the gym, and when I say mushrooms, I mean like psychedelics,
right?
The breath work maybe,
yeah,
and suck it up, rub some dirt on it, don't be a bitch kind of thing. And so when we have trauma, we live in our head, we disconnect from the sensations in our body, intelligent move from the body, because it's overwhelming. And so, but we may be numbing through different. We can numb with food and healthy practice, healthy versus not healthy, and there's no judgment there. It's just coping mechanisms. And so we slowly learn to be in the body again, to understand the language of the body. And when we can listen and respond to the body, it doesn't have to get our attention through symptoms anymore. So people who are out there that are listening to this show, that are managing their anxiety, managing depression, managing ruminating thoughts, and whatever that may be, their insomnia, you don't have to do that. You can get better. And I'm not here to sell you some magic pill. I'm here to tell you, you are the medicine. And you just got to learn how to listen. And that's what I do with my clients.
So do you, how do you use meditation, or?
Sure. I mean, that's the thing. Like, all the things that we would think would be good for health, that may not be right for you. So I help people understand what's right for them, because if my body, here's me. I worked with Joe Dispenza for a while, where you're doing meditations for 2 hours at a time, right? Maybe twice a day. There's a time, I'm not shaming that. That was a time when that helped me. What I learned eventually is that's forcing myself to feel an elevated emotion. So you're laying there and you're trying to disconnect from your body. Well, then that's feeding right into the pattern of, I don't want to be in my body and I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to force this emotion on myself. I'm trying to feel an elevated emotion. That's disconnecting from what's actually going on. And if a body is hypervigilant, it's sensitized, it's dealing with lots of activation, anxiety, panic, insomnia, laying there sitting with it is too much. And so the body is going to go into freeze. It's going to shut down at best. So that may feel good in the moment because that's probably something we've learned to stay safe. That would look like playing possum. But what happens the next day? What happens when that pendulum swings back? Because the nervous system is always expanding and contracting.
Yeah.
And it responds to repetition. It responds to how we respond to sensations in our body. And a lot of these practices, breath work, meditation, even like yoga, they can all be done inappropriate for the individual. I could sit in a yoga class and I could compete with the person beside me and try to win.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm missing the point. I can sit in meditation and try to force myself to not feel. Well, I'm just teaching my body how to shut down. I can take every supplement and pill and this and that and think that's helping. And it might feel like it. Oh, I found the answer. That was me. I found a million answers through this journey. But it just kept me looking for what's wrong instead of meeting what's underneath. The patterns of, I'm not good enough. I need to be perfect. I need to please others. I need to get it right. I need to be this way or that. And that's abandoning ourselves. That's leaving ourselves to stay connected or impressed to be loved by someone else. And the deep work is meeting those parts and meeting those patterns and meeting the emotions behind them and healing that. And when we do, we can just be us, and that's a whole lot cooler. That's a whole lot easier. And there are symptoms that come with that.
It's interesting. I appreciate what you said about meditation and such, because that has not been it's been my experience, but not.
And I'm not here to knock. I'm not here to knock it.
No, and I appreciate, and I'm not countering what you're saying. I just, from my point, it's because I find it kind of interesting. I agree with you. It's not for everybody, not everyone, and it is for me. From my perspective, it's been a training. I was not able to do it for very long when I first did it, but as I've trained myself, I can do it longer. And it is a challenge, and it's actually a daily practice. So, you have good days and bad days, just like in the gym. But for me, I've been facing myself through that process, learning to deal with the recurring thoughts and kind of learning not to shut them off, but to face them.
Yeah, that's it.
To really face them and to say, how are you serving me? And kind of surrendering to that and saying, you know what? I get it. I'm listening. I'm here. I'm listening. If you got something to say, tell me. If you don't, get the hell out. You got to move on. And I just kind of did that issue by issue, on my own. And that's how I dealt with it. And that's what worked for me, but not everyone is able to do that. And the body, the feelings that you get in your body when you're going through all of that. I mean, trying to sit perfectly still for even a minute at a time for some people is close to impossible. You gotta, you're getting itch. There's a lot of things to deal with. So yeah, no, I get it. But I think that can be part of it, and maybe has its place and time, and it's all part of an iterative process to where we're bringing in all these tools and kind of building a toolbox, so we can handle whatever we throw at it, whatever life throws at us. That's what adversity, like resilience, is to me. Life is not going to get easy. Just because you meditate or you have a good mindset or a positive attitude, life's always going to be ups and downs, and it's how you approach life that matters. And that's why I have you here, is so to help people learn that, hey, you know what? There's this mind-body connection, and the problem is me. I mean, solving the problem starts with me.
Mm-hmm.
And coaches like Mitch Webb are out here who can help guide you. I'm a real big advocate too, especially as a man. Um, I think we're taught to suppress our emotions, to hide our emotions. Definitely don't talk about them. Uh, but you have emotions regardless,
Hmm.
and you have to learn how to deal with them. And it's okay. It's okay to ask for help too, because you can't know everything.
Hmm.
It's like paying for a plumber, to fix something in your house, or an electrician or something. If you don't have the knowledge to fix it yourself, you can get help.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what would you recommend? So if someone's like, I mean, when's the right time to kind of seek help? Is there a time to do? Is there like coming to you? Are there people that come to you just trying to look for a fix? Like you're going to solve their problems? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, people definitely. I that's why I came to this work. I mean, I wanted somebody to fix me, and nobody can fix you, right? Like you are the medicine. What you're looking for is inside of you, and to access that, having a guide, someone that's been there, is huge, you know. And I would suggest that people look for someone that's been in the same shoes as them, and seek out help. And so much of this work is it's awareness. You know, it's just seeing how, whatever happened. I mean, this is a lot of the stuff is stemming from trauma. And so whatever happened, it's not your fault and it's your responsibility. And so, we start by observing that. I mean, most people come to this work and they've tried everything and nothing works. That was me, their hair's on fire. They have so much going on in their body that they don't know what's going on. That was me. Or they can say, I don't feel anything.
hmm,
They're usually dealing with chronic symptoms. And like me, again, they've tried everything and try to fix them, but that fixing, that trying to fix myself, figure out what's wrong, focusing on sensation, getting frustrated with it, fighting it. Um, that's the pattern. That's what's adding. That's the problem. It's not really a problem. It's just that's how we've learned to stay safe and survive up until now, and it is no longer in alignment with who we are now, and it's causing our body to express itself in these symptoms, and we reinforce the loop by fixing it, taking the pill, the medication, whatever, not to again. And
yeah,
here's my thing. It's like all these coping strategies helped me at one time. And then with more awareness, more education, more capacity to see my own patterns and how I was showing up and the trauma that I was carrying and the unexpressed emotions, um, the not accepting and allowing of myself, the survival responses to try to impress and be whoever it is I thought people needed and wanted me to be. We learn that from childhood. We typically treat ourselves like we were treated.
mm-hmm,
And when we zoom out and we learn and understand how the nervous system works and how the biology of stress works in our body, we normalize. Your body's not broken. There's nothing to fix. It's responding perfectly to the environments that didn't feel safe and the places that we've been in where it was too much, is everything everywhere all at
mm-hmm.
once, and our system didn't know how to deal with that. And that stuff is it's shaped who we are today. It's shaped how we're showing up, and of course we have symptoms. Of course the body's bracing. Of course there's tension. Of course there's anxiety, and it's hard to sleep. The body's in survival, and that is everybody. I mean, we're all in survival. We've all dealt with trauma. The as a society, we're waking up to this stuff, and we're seeing how society shapes us. That's one of the things I start with all the time. Of course, you're dealing with symptoms, and your body's not broken. We got society that controls us with poisoning our food and our water, with overstimulation,
Mm-hmm.
social media, constant stimulation and disconnection from nature, disconnection from our friends, our family, from ourselves, um, prescription drugs to cover up the symptoms that our body is expressing to get our attention. And so we're just stuck in a system. And this work is it's a red pill, man. It's a wake up moment to see what's actually going on and how it's affecting our body. And it's kind of like apps running in the background, right? These apps are draining our battery. They're overwhelming us, but we're completely unaware of it because that's all we know. And so when we build education and awareness and we start to see the apps and we learn, oh, I get to turn that one off and turn this one off and turn that one off, kind of like you're talking about in your meditation practice. You know, you're meeting yourself. You're allowing the stuff to come up. You're accepting what's here, and you're moving through it and giving yourself what you need, expressing the emotions that are underneath. And the more we do that, the more we get in balance and back in alignment with us and who we are. And we feel good. We come out of survival. We come into flow. And it feels like being held underwater your whole life and then finally getting a breath of air. And you look around,
my gosh,
you're like,
yes.
Damn, it's beautiful. It's freaking awesome to be here.
And it's amazing too how that can, like you've mentioned several times, and I experienced this too. Throughout your life, you feel it feels like a cycle, almost like you're repeating yourself. You're trying to get out, you're trying to make progress, and you're just running in place until that one time where something connects and it's like it just snaps, and it's like, this is a lot easier than I thought. And it does change. And the more you do that, the more you do that, the more confidence you get, the better you feel. And I think I don't know, it strengthens you to take on the next challenge. Because, once you uncover one thing, you're going to probably uncover another, but, and so on. I mean, that's just the way life is. But one thing I wanted to say is adapting. We're here today, because we've adapted to whatever life threw at us. And we're going to continue to adapt to what life, we adapted to the way life was back then, or we adapted to addressing trauma in our life. We do these things, like you said, we're getting into survival mode, just trying to survive. But you get so overwhelmed, you kind of just adapt, and you're like, this is the way it is. I got to survive. But part of this process, I think, makes you realize that there's a life beyond just surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, also with societies against us in a lot of ways, air, but just the basics, air, water, food. I mean, there's poison in all of it. We have to make that choice, each and every one of us, to say, do we buy into this or not? And what's right for one person may not be right for another. It's all good, but it's all like awareness, like you said. All begins with awareness. You talked about circadian rhythms, like sleep and getting back into this. And I think that might be helpful. I'm not all that familiar with circadian rhythms. I mean, I know they have to deal with sleep regulation, right?
Yeah, that's something I've kind of pivoted on that a little bit, or it's changed my mind on that.
Okay.
Circadian rhythm would be the light and wake cycle that we have throughout the day. Like, well, I used to say Courtney wakes us up in the morning. So that's cortisol. Cortisol gets us going. That's what wakes us up in the morning. There's certain zeitgeibers that we would call, like, things that influence circadian rhythm. Wakefulness, that would be the sun, blue light in the morning, movement,
okay,
and food. And my background is in health coaching. Now, in the past, I would take all this information and try to be perfect with it, try to give people a protocol to do. And then it can, for me, it became a compulsive way of fixing myself. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love, sunlight and getting that in my eyes. It's not mandatory. It's not like, oh my God, I got to do that or I'm going to die. But I damn sure enjoy it, and I try to get out there in the morning and do those zeitgeibers. I mean, in the morning I like a walk in the morning in the sunshine and try to get my bare feet on the ground if I can
Yeah.
to connect to the earth. And at nighttime I used to wear blue light blocking glasses if I was watching the TV and be afraid that blue light was gonna at nighttime was gonna impact my circadian rhythm and suppress my melatonin. And
Oh my
I just
gosh.
could give a
Yeah.
shit about it anymore. I mean, I haven't I haven't wore my blue light blockers and I don't know how long, and that was a lot of fear for me. Again, like we've talked about, everybody's different. That doesn't mean that wearing blue light blockers is bad or I'm judging anybody
Oh
that
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Like, do your thing, do what feels good for you. But for me, I can say it was done from a lot of fear. I was scared. I was trying to control things. I had insomnia for 20 years, man, and I would do anything. I'm sure people can relate to that to sleep. And so I was taking medication. I was taking supplements. I was obsessive,
Hmm.
Um, and through this work, I've just let go of that stuff, that's what a lot of this work is just letting go. But circadian rhythm is important, and sunlight and food and movement, all good things. The basics are so much better than being perfect or trying to control everything. And those are just patterns we want to observe. But yeah, dude, get out in the sun and enjoy it. I'd laid out in the sun today for 20 minutes probably.
It had as I was reading about circadian rhythm, I mean, and your write up, I was, I was thinking, I don't know, it seemed familiar to me. But now, as you're talking about it, I actually have a little one of those little lights that like mimics sunlight, and
Yeah.
you're supposed to put it. You were supposed to put it in your face and close your eyes and do that for like 5 or 10 minutes or something like
Yeah.
that.
Seasonal
So
affective disorder
yeah,
lamps or whatever.
seasonal affective disorder. That's right.
Yeah.
So I lived in Atlanta for 15 years. I grew up in South Florida. So I grew up around the sunshine and the salt air and the ocean and everything. Moved to Atlanta through the smog, and I mean back then it was very smoggy. Um, you know, just terrible weather. I mean, like the winters were just icy and gray and gloomy for weeks on end, and it was horrible. I never felt seasonal affective disorder until I moved to Atlanta.
Mm.
Um, but I live in Virginia now, and
Okay, I'm in North Carolina, man.
yeah, so we're not. You're not. I think I'm about an hour away from the North Carolina border.
That's awesome.
But so it is a little bit different. It's not as bad, but I liked what you said, the natural sources of happiness. Like to me also that's what meditation taught me. It's like to appreciate the moment, and it's the small things like the feeling the grass under your feet. There is something very therapeutic about going on a hike. Like for me, it's like when I'm going through tough times, I go on a hike, and it's weird how everything, like, you just get so focused, I guess, on a different type of survival.
Oh, well, you're I
Trying
mean,
to get through the hike, but just feeling the gray earth on the ground can really help ground you, I think. It
oh
helps
yeah.
settle you and give you a reprieve. Um, it's no fun being in survival mode,
Mm-mm.
but you can get out.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, we're not knocking technology in the modern world, but not having balance with that, is a thing. And can we insert moments throughout the day or the week, whatever it is, to connect with nature, to do more of those, get outside, bare feet on the ground, eyes in the sun. moving, going in
Right.
nature. There's a thing in nature called nature bathing. I think is what it's called. And there's studies that show that it drops cortisol by 30%. So we live in these fake environments. We're hooked up right now. I mean, it's also awesome that we can talk to people that are in different places, right?
Absolutely.
So it's not to say technology. I use technology every single day. I mean, my business is run online, but when I'm done with my day, or if I get a moment and I can walk outside and put my feet on the ground, that's all you need. I mean, you just need a little bit. How can I insert those moments throughout the day? We call it like little drops of safety. That's what that is. If I'm glued to the screen all day long and I'm, go, 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 go. And I'd also say nervous system regulation does not mean that I got to be doing regulation practices all day or just being in nature all day. That becomes another way of compulsively fixing ourselves. But how can we pause, between tasks to be all the freedom that we want is right here in the moment. It's not creating or controlling in the future. It's the connection. It's a conversation with a friend. It's hanging out in nature. It's the little moments, and all we need is drops. We need good enough safety. We need to just feel good. So can we notice when we're getting overstimulated? When we're getting run down. One of the things we do with clients in the beginning, it's called follow your impulse, right? And it starts so simple, and that's, dude, in this work, simple wins. Complicated, it sucks. And we start with, if you're thirsty, drink water. If you're hungry, eat food. If you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. You have no idea how many people get so busy and so locked into what they're doing that they forget to eat, forget to drink water, forget to go to the bathroom. And the body quits telling it. That's communication from the body. But we start there, because the more we listen to our natural impulses and respond with what the body needs, it goes, oh shit, this guy's listening again. Let's give him some more. And you start to notice, I start to feel, all day long, I'm talking to guys on the phone or on the Zoom or whatever. And I got this feeling. What is this? What's your body talking to you? What's it want? What's it want to say? What's it want to do? Maybe it wants to set a boundary. Maybe it wants to say no. Maybe it wants to say, hell yeah. I mean, that's another place I start with clients is hell yes. What's a hell yes? When you light up and your eyes get big, you get excited about a topic, that's a hell yes. Pay attention to those.
Yeah, that means something. Let's talk about safety a little bit more, because, especially as a man, I think sometimes as a man, we don't want to even admit that we don't feel safe, or we don't want to admit we feel scared or we're fearful of things. I mean, we're not raised to do that. We're raised to fight, and to stand up and, conquer and, all these things. But, it's really kind of changed. I mean, it's changing. When I think about when I was addressing my own fear, job insecurity is a huge driver today. Working for corporate America, it used to be really secure, and you're like, oh yeah, not getting out of there, got handcuffs. But that's not really true anymore. And living with the insecurity of having a job, paycheck by paycheck, does put you in survival mode. But safety I know you're calling it safety, but these are feelings that we're talking about, and we might not know that what we're feeling concerns a lack of safety.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, because it's unconscious, and we've got survival responses running the show. So we control to feel safe. We live in our head to feel safe. We are perfect to feel safe. We plan out everything. We earn a bunch of money. We control all the variables, and society tends to say, "Oh man, he's really on it.
Yeah,
He's got his ducks in a row." And meanwhile, underneath, what's driving all of that, all those survival responses is a lack of feeling safe. And again, we just have to be able to see that, see how damn stressful it is to be the glue to hold everything together, to feel like we're responsible for our body and for how it functions and what it does and the future and how people perceive us and how we show up in the world and who we are. Like, dude, that's control, and ultimately safety. I didn't know. I really went on a journey to try to understand what is safety, because I'm hearing I've healed with women, man. And that's why I work with guys now, and the women are great, and I was like, what is safety? What is safe? What are you talking about? And safety is just trusting yourself. That's it.
Okay.
Trusting that I'm going to be okay. I can make a decision, and it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's information. So can I trust myself and meet myself no matter what happens in any situation? Not like, can I defend myself and fight? I mean, yeah, that's important too. But am I going to be okay if I don't have all these survival? If I'm just me, can I be safe being me? That's what I learned in therapy. I went in and I was like, she goes, why are you here? I'm like, because I want to get rid of this motherfucking anxiety. And she's like, that ain't gonna work. That's your body communicating with you.
Yeah.
And what I learned eventually was I want to be safe, expressing myself authentically, and I want to trust myself that I can be me and I can be okay in any situation. And I'm not over here saying I'm perfectly safe. I'm still doing the work, brother. I'm still, learning what makes me feel unsafe and what makes me shut down and what makes me get activated. Instead of trying to fix that and make it go away, I'm get curious with it. You talked about this earlier with meditation. It's not to avoid it. It's to move towards it. The buffalo, I can't remember. I think it's buffalo. It's the only animal that moves towards the storm, because it knows if I run away from it, it's just going to prolong it.
Right.
And if I move towards it and I go through it, I come out the other side, and then I'm going to be okay. My nervous system is going to learn this is all right. And when it does that, all these symptoms, it doesn't have to get our attention to let us know we're in danger. Now, it doesn't mean we don't feel. It's just information. It's just like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about the buffalo. My friend who's a psychiatrist, he actually said he gave the same analogy but with fire. And he said therapy is like you're in a hallway, you're walking down the hallway, and there's a fire there. And you could try to skirt yourself around it. You could try to go, over. You can try to do anything to get around it, but you can't. You just got to go through it. But as soon as you get through it, it'll always be behind you and never be in front of you again.
I love that, man. Yeah, I agree.
And in safety, gosh, it just it's these our society, going back to what you're talking about, society has set us up in so many different ways. One of my last guys I had an interview or a conversation with basically called out anyone who was, working a 9 to 5 job, corporate America, and wanting to be like an entrepreneur or anything, like saying that's bullshit. You're running from, the truth. You should, like, he was pretty hard edged about it, like saying, you're just a wimp, for not taking the jump and you're too scared, and, and you're absolutely right, because most of America, we get kind of lulled into this way we think the world should be. And like, if you don't have a good steady job, then that means you don't have a good steady income, because you have to get paid if you're going to work, you can get paid no matter what it is. Maybe you get some benefits and time off, whatever you get. There are a lot of people out there who fly by the seat of their pants and salesman in particular, and he was a salesman. You know, you're going out there, it's competitive. You're going out there to get that sale, and you don't know where your next paycheck's coming from after that. You know, there's no net, but most people are used to operating with a net. And, look at America today. Even the government is taking that net away in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is just commentary about things that we see, not making judgments and things. You can make your own, but something to, awareness is key. And if you want to try to make yourself safe, maybe try to figure out what's making you what's making you unsafe. For me, it was the job security, just getting bills paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to get your kids through college.
Yeah, everybody's got to make that decision and see that for themselves. That's this work is slowing down and just observing. And that may be true for one person, and for another, it may not be true. And that's something that we get to see for ourselves.
Yeah. And there's really no right or wrong answer.
Yep.
Which is
just information.
But yeah, I know that through my journey, I feel like a weight has been lifted from me in so many ways. Back when you're a teenager, like you're 17, you're living at home. You're not worried about paying the rent or food on the table or anything like that. Kind of carefree life.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what we should all maybe aim for? Uh, in some degree, a less or a more carefree life. Of course, there are things to be concerned about, and right to be concerned about. But I think we're all just hung up on, I don't know, the way we think things should be, rather than just seeing what's out there. I'll tell you, working a corporate grind does wear on your soul. I mean, just the day in and day out of life in general, I think no matter what you do, even if you're self-employed, the day in, day out of life, it can just wear you down. And that's why it's so important to get out there, hike, get out there, walk in the sun, sit in the sun, just do something for yourself and enjoy that, the air and just the moment. I think I can help get you. I mean, it's not going to solve your problems, but it can help get you out of that cycle of survival mode and really start thinking about, what do I do? Stop thinking about what you can't do. Start thinking about what you can do. And don't think of it as what you don't want to do. I mean, don't, don't think just because you can. I mean, a lot of people, I think, say they can't do something, and doesn't have anything to do with not being able to do it. They don't want to do it, so it's not an option. But I think once you start looking at it a little bit differently, to say, oh, this is something I could do. I don't want to do this, but I could do it if I really had to, I guess. I think once you start changing your mindset, that's a good way to get out of your own way sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. I mean, what I was saying earlier, follow your impulse. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
A lot of my people that I work with are dealing with chronic symptoms, and they're sitting at home waiting for a cure, waiting for things to get better, waiting for some outcome before they start enjoying their life. And ironically, one of the things that helps them get their life back and out of symptoms really quick is by doing the things that they love to do with the symptoms, with the anxiety, with the fatigue, with the
Mm,
insomnia. Just fucking do it. And when you do it, your nervous system learns, oh, this isn't safe. I mean, excuse me. Oh, this isn't scary. This
hmm.
isn't danger. This isn't a threat. And we heal through new experiences and showing the system it's okay, not through force, not through fixing, not through overwhelming. That was me. I only had one gear. It was overwhelming force. And this work is, we've been talking about it, accepting, allowing, surrendering, compassion, love, choice, agency, choosing what I want to do when I want to do it and rolling with that, not what I think somebody should do, not what somebody else tells me. That's the old way. That's listening to the external. When we start getting symptoms, when we get uncomfortable, something feels off, we want somebody to tell me what to do, tell me what to
Yeah.
do. I can't tell anybody what to do, but I can help you bring awareness into attention to um, what feels good and what you want and what doesn't feel good. The body tells us all that when we start, educating awareness,
Yeah.
building capacity, and then learning to express what's been held in the body. And oftentimes it takes time.
You know, it, the way I think about it is that the way we feel, our emotions, it's a tool. They're tools, and they're trying to tell us something, like you said. And the challenge is trying to figure out what the hell it's trying to say, what our body's trying to say. And that's why I think that mind body connection is so critical, because a lot of times we we get out of we don't understand because we're out of alignment. We're not our mind is not connecting to what our body is telling us. So once you connect those two, then it can be like, bam, oh, this is fixed. I mean, this, at least you have a direction. Like you're not cloudy about what you need to do.
You're not stuck anymore.
Yeah, you're not stuck.
Yeah, that's it. You nailed it, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, that's great. I think we're probably getting time to wrap this up. This is good. This has been great discussion, and I really appreciate your time and your experience and your story, because I think a lot of people are going to relate to this. Um, do you have any final words, and also how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, no, man, I appreciate it. And it was good chatting with you. Great questions, and enjoyed the discussion as well. And I appreciate the opportunity to share. Folks can find me. I'm hoping I gave you my nervous system quiz. It's a free quiz. Takes like a minute or two, a couple questions, 10 questions maybe, and it's going to help you get started with this work. Help you identify, your nervous system state, what your primary nervous system state is of the last couple of weeks or something like that,
Hmm.
and then some free information on how to deal with that, how to understand that more. Like we talked about, this work is education and awareness, and then there's a little guided meditation in there that
Okay.
we call it more of like it's a neurosensory exercise. It's and I think you'd like it. It's very similar to meditation. It would feel probably like that. It's just connecting with the body and what it's feeling, and then there's a link. I hope I gave you of a free 30-minute call for anybody that's interested in this work. I offer one-on-one work.
Okay.
Do it remotely. I'll work with people all over the world. I've been talking with multiple people in different countries today. It's kind of cool. Thank you, technology.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
my website, mitchwebb.com. I've got a podcast called Rooted Conversations. It's on YouTube and all over, podcast
Okay.
platforms. And then on social media, I'm at KMitchWebb on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok. So, I mean,
Lots
hit
of
me
ways
up
to get
any
in
of
touch
those
with you.
ways.
That's awesome. And I've been meaning to make notice of your hat too, with your Billy Strings there.
Yeah, man.
I caught him at the Outlaw Festival a couple of years ago
Yeah,
with
with
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I will tell you that if you haven't caught Billy Strings, you need to go catch him. He is the most amazing play, a guitar player I've ever heard. and he's a bluegrass player. And I'm not a bluegrass. I'm not big into bluegrass. It's not my kind of music. I'm a rock and roll guy. I shouldn't like it. I shouldn't like it, but I love it.
He's different, man.
He plays
It's
it like
not
a heavy
Ricky
metal
Skaggs.
guitar.
It's like jam band.
Yeah.
I'm a big Widespread Panic fan.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I go on tour, I used to be on tour. I used to sell mushrooms and T-shirts and grilled cheese and water back in the day.
Okay.
20 years ago. But the crowd that's there, we just went to Asheville for a 3-night run, and it's the same crowd that we used to hang out with, the jam band kids, and he kind of brings everybody together, and
Sure does.
He's got some trippy, good music, man. I love him. It's awesome.
I do too. I turned my 93-year-old mother onto him. She loves him. I want to try to get tickets to, like, if he's down in Florida, I want to go there with my mom.
Yeah, man.
I got to do
awesome.
that. But
your mom sounds cool.
Yeah. So, again, you could see, if you're still here listening to us, you could see the light in our eyes light up, because music is something that's universal that people love. And for me, it helps reconnect me with who I am. But listening to new music, it shows you, I don't know, a new world as well too. That's why I love the Outlaw Festival. It's Americana music, and a lot of artists I never knew about before I saw them. And you get turned on to these amazing artists. I'm actually bringing some more artists onto the show to have conversations with. So we're going to be introducing people. So it's going to be super cool. Mitch, I so appreciate your time. We'll wrap this up, but you've been listening to A Swift Kick in the Ass. I'm John Curren. This is Mitch Webb. He's got a lot of ways to contact him, and it's got a lot of good information, a lot of good thoughts and approaches, and he's here to help. So reach out to him and get some help.
Thanks for having me, John.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up. But until the next time, peace. Hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.